Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we have got another episode of my Let's Talk series. So if you guys don't know, I kind of pick like a different topic every few weeks and I discuss it on here with you, and I like to make them kind of like intellectual conversations or topics which are a little bit deeper, which might be able to help people or advise people and stuff like that. So that is kind of like the purpose of these videos. So today I'm going to be discussing social media, and I know that that is really broad. I feel like social media is evolving so much and there's so much you can do with it, but at the same time I feel like it's something that could lead us to such destruction. So I want to discuss all the different good and bad points about social media because I kind of want to start a little discussion going. So drop me down your thoughts and stuff in the comments, and kind of get a little healthy debate going, kind of discussing, does social media do more bad than good? So that is what we are going to be talking about today. Like a little thing here with just kind of like my thoughts. I made like a, what's it called, you know, like a pros and cons list essentially. So this video was kind of sparked by the Black Lives Matter movement. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on there. I've been very vocal about the entire movement and my support for the movement, so definitely go ahead to Instagram if you want to see any petitions you can sign and ways that you can actively help. Then just shoot me a DM if you don't know or if you can't find it on my profile. And you know what, I feel like the way that everyone came together on social media was actually one of the most beautiful things that I have witnessed. The way that everyone just kind of like became such a community and such a unit to fight for this mutual cause was so beautiful to see on social media. It was like, I can't explain it. I'm sure you guys have felt it too, but it's been this really strange sense of community, like strange but amazingly strange, you know? And how everyone was kind of helping each other, uplifting each other. It's like that whole channel of communication of social media just became a source of like positivity and empowerment and unity. And it was so obvious that as things in the actual case of George Floyd and in this movement developed, that social media had such a big impact in kind of being a part of that driving force. Because the way I see it is, we are trying to speak on our society, on the society that we want to create. We are being vocal about how we want our society to be. We are the people, we make up the society. And the easiest, most convenient way for us as the society to voice what we want and our opinions and fight for what we want to is through social media. It's now probably one of the most accessible forms for us to discuss our own personal outlooks and get results and reach such a massive audience. If you think about it, through social media, you do it from your home, from a device that kind of most people take around everywhere with them, and through that device you can communicate anything you want to, and it reaches potentially millions of people. Like, can we deep the effect that that can have? And I feel like with the Black Lives Matter movement, we have seen a glimpse of the power that social media can create and the positive impact that social media can create. The way that so many people learnt, so many people got educated about this movement. People shared their outrage, people shared their passion, their fight, and everyone just got like a taste of it. And I feel like social media was so crucial in helping everyone come together in that way. And I feel like, honestly, like it was just so beautiful. And that was, obviously, that is on the top of my pros list because it's the thing that sparked my whole thought process for this, and it's in recent events and caused such a monumental impact, and it's continuing to do so. Like, this is momentum that we are going to keep up, and everyone will keep up, and we can see results the more that we stay active and utilize things like social media to help us. Essentially, I feel like with this movement and with any other movement or fight for something, social media gives us the ability to create change. That is essentially what I do and what I want to do with my life. I want to use my platform to create change. One of my favorite quotes is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world," and I feel like social media enables us to do that and gives us so much more control and power to be able to achieve that. So another point, which is a positive, which kind of ties in with this, is educational. Social media can be so educational, and I think that it has been very, very visible through this movement. So many people were uneducated about things like white privilege. People were not educated about it, and social media allowed people to gain that knowledge and educate themselves to be able to make more of a difference. And it's not just applicable for this matter, for so many different things and topics and forms of injustice and just general things that people need to know about. Social media can be such an educational platform, whether it's like, for example, for me, I use it a lot to talk about mental health and animal rights, and again, it's educating people, and that's through just a few taps on a screen for me to potentially spread awareness and spread the word on so many things to reach such a massive group of people. Another thing that I think is so amazing about social media is distance is not an issue. Distance doesn't come into it. You can literally touch the lives of so many people whilst being millions of miles away from them. Without even knowing it, you could be touching the lives of so many people through using social media for certain things, whether it's literally like a funny video that someone uploads. That could make someone's day who's across the world. Like, the opportunities that social media bring us in that way are just unimaginable, and there is no limit, there is no extent to the kind of impact that can be made from it to anyone in the world. So obviously through that is the whole concept of social networking, which is obviously what social media was created mainly for, and that in itself can be such a powerful thing. I know that a lot of the time we think about it in terms of kind of seeing a different level of contact with people that we already know and come into contact with, but so many people meet new people via networking on social media. That in itself can be such a game changer to a person's life. Like, imagine a person that lives by themselves. It can help reduce that feeling of loneliness or that feeling of isolation, because through a screen you can feel like there's a community of people right there, and you don't feel so isolated from the world that you may feel in person. It gives you that sense of community and unity through a screen, which is unbelievable. And there could be a million people right at your virtual doorstep in a way, just by the powers of social media. You can connect with people, you can feel less lonely. Like, if you think of people's mental health in that way, it can actually be really, really beneficial to make people feel like they're not alone. Then there is the more generic side of, you have a platform. You can use your social media to have a platform, and this obviously ties into what I do, kind of what this is right now, which is social media can provide so many people with jobs. And it's unbelievable the opportunities that can come from social media. It's something that is constantly evolving and becoming more and more incredible, and more opportunities are developing and coming out of this, which is unreal. It's changing people's lives, it's people's main source of income. So there's obviously the side of that, which kind of, it can be someone's livelihood, someone's career. But on top of that, people can use that platform to inspire people. Think about all those people, all those influencers, all those whoever, people that are in the public eye and use their social platform. Think about how many people they are inspiring to spread positivity, messages that they think are important. And people have made it their job to use this platform to be able to do such things. Even creativity, I feel like social media is an absolutely amazing outlet for creativity, for showcasing your work, your talents. You're like, it's unbelievable. You know, like when you see them videos of like a homeless person who could be like in Cuba or something, doing like the most jaw-dropping, unbelievably amazing like painting, and that video alone could get like millions and millions of hits. That is so mad. That is so mad. That can provide that person with a chance to change their life, to get such better opportunities and be able to better their life. And that is all from the beauty of social media and creativity and showcasing your work. So they are the things that I consider to be on the positive side of social media. But there is always two sides to the coin. The fact that social media can be an opportunity for a positive outlet also means that it can be an opportunity for a negative outlet. It's how it's used. The fact that people can use their platform and at such great extents and lengths and without restrictions, the fact that people can do that to give people inspiration, positivity, and spread positive messages, it can just as easily be used to spread negative messages and put negativity out into the universe. And let's be honest, like, this world has enough negativity in itself, and social media can be a way for people to amplify that negative voice. Like, for example, there's things like hate comments. Like, how many trolling accounts are there? Like, there are so many. You know, there have been a few times where I've had like a couple of like meaningless hate comments on posts on Instagram or even on YouTube here, and you go on the profile and in the bio it says, I'm just here to troll, and it's like some anonymous account, and people have literally created an account to hide behind so that they can create and put out that negativity. And you know what, like, it's such a sad side of something which could be so powerful, and things that can kind of be said to you in hate comments and things like that via social media are things that you could possibly go your entire life without hearing face to face in a world that has no social media. And that obviously ties in with cyberbullying. This is something that I feel like in school is very, very powerful. Like, when you are in school and cyberbullying can kind of start to happen, it feels like the end of the world. And the way that it has made so many people, teenagers and young girls and young boys, feel about themselves and about their lives could be detrimental. And cyberbullying is such a harsh and aggressive thing, and the repercussions from it can be deadly, absolutely deadly, and people don't realize it because social media gives people the strength to be able to do things that they can't do face to face. And it's sad, but it's true. People say things, people do things that they wouldn't be able to do in person or say in person, but it gives them that ability to be anonymous, and it gives them that courage that they can have behind a screen because no one can come for them. So in a way, social media creates that opportunity for negativity to be spread to millions and millions of people, and loads of these people could be vulnerable and it could hit them really hard, and we have no idea the kind of deeper consequences that that could lead to. Another thing which I think is very, very common and we can all kind of agree on is social media creates a false sense of reality. It's almost like a parallel universe. Like, I will be the first to say that Instagram is so guilty of this, like so guilty. You see all influencers and you look on their page and you think, oh my gosh, like they have everything. They have the best of life, the best of this, the best of that. You have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. But naturally, as any person, when you go and you see these pictures and you see these feeds and you see everything in front of you, it's easy to think that that's the entire story. And Instagram allows you, and social media in general allows you to only show what you want to show, but sometimes that can be forgotten and that can be lost. Then tying in with that, the massive impact that social media can have on a person's mental health. You guys know that I am the first person to scream and shout about mental health, and seeing other people's fake representation of their life can make you feel so inadequate. It can actually lead to so many things, of like feelings of depression, body dysmorphia, anxiety, eating disorders. It can literally trigger so many life-threatening mental health disorders in people. And the thing is, it can just keep slowly working at it. How many times a day do you pick up your phone and you scroll through socials? You see things, you hear things. It's slowly eating at your brain. It's slowly changing your perception of things and people and life and yourself. It changes the way you see yourself, and not in a good way. Because another point is, social media makes it so easy to compare yourself to others. In fact, it makes it almost impossible not to. And comparing yourself to other people is one of the worst things that a person can do. But it is so natural. We all do it. I don't think anyone could really put their hand on their heart and say honestly they have never compared themselves to another person that they have seen on social media. Whether it be for superficial things, materialistic things, like appearance or wealth, or things like happiness and opportunities and success. Do you know what, being in this industry, like, you see so many people that get so obsessed with numbers and looking at their growth rate, their followers, their subscribers, and you can so easily get really obsessed with it, and understandably, because that equates to success in this kind of industry. And it's so easy to compare yourself and your content and your worth to someone else who may have like double, triple, 10 times the number of followers and subscribers as you do, and it can make you think, why am I not good enough? What am I doing wrong? And that can just so easily snowball, and when that thought plays on your mind, you just enter a black hole. And honestly, like, the negative repercussions from social media to a person's mental health, that list can just go on and on and on. And even some of the mentally strongest people out there would struggle to kind of keep a lid on that, because it's so natural, because social media makes it so easy for us to do that. And obviously what ties in with that is a lot of social media is image centered, and it's centered around things which actually aren't really important in life. Things like the way you look and how much money you have and things like that. And I feel like it takes away the importance that life should really have a focus on, which is happiness. Like, ultimately, that is what you want, health and happiness, right? Like, in my mind anyway, that's what I would strive to have. I feel like everything I try to do in life is to try and make my life as happy as possible, and that is my main focus. And I feel like it's, to be honest, it's the way I see it most logically making sense, because this life is temporary. Our life here is temporary. So what do you want to do? You want to make it as positive and as good for yourself as possible. So you surely just want to feel as good as possible for as much of that time as possible, which is you striving for happiness. And sometimes I feel like that is not mirrored through social media, and it can allow you to kind of lose sight of priorities and what is actually important, because it puts importance on things which are not the most important things in the world. It makes you lose sight of what is important to you and life and your family and everything that you stand for. It makes you lose sight of that importance. And another thing I thought of is simply that it just takes you away from life. It takes you away from actual living life. Like, how many times do you go on a bus, you go on a tube, and you see everyone just looking down at their phones? Everyone is just trapped in that world. They're not taking in the present. And do you know what? That is a lot to do with the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness, if you don't know, is a technique where it allows you to focus on the present. And the fact that that is such a massive thing that so many people need to try really hard to implement, I personally think that social media is a big culprit in the fact that we need to try so hard to be present and mindful in life, because we're so used to a virtual life where we can just scroll and scroll and scroll, and you just get stuck into a black hole. How many times have you been scrolling through social media? Next thing you know, you've been sitting there doing that same thing for like 3 hours. Did you look outside? Did you talk to someone in person? Like, it just can take you away from present life, and you miss so many beautiful things in life. You miss interactions, social things with people in person. You miss beautiful, like, physical things in life, because we're also consumed by a phone and by what is happening in the virtual life. So, kind of taking it all into consideration, I feel like, personally, I think there are so many positive things, but I also think the negative things are really extreme too, and I feel like people abuse it. I think that's what the problem is. I feel like social media is one of the most beautiful, incredible inventions when used in moderation and for the right things. I feel like it can be so life-changing when it's used correctly. Social media can help us create a society and a world that we want to live in. We can create it for ourselves. It can just as easily be the reason that we create a world that we would hate to live in, and be the way that we amplify everything that is wrong in the world. It can so easily help us to create a world which is filled with nothing but hate. But if we don't abuse it, and if we use it for the right things, we can collectively make such a massive and groundbreaking impact on life for future generations, for ourselves, for our kids, for our kids' kids. Like, the positive things that could come out of this are endless if we use it right. We can use it for things like Black Lives Matter. We can use it for different forms of injustice. We can use it to fight together to create the world that we want. It allows us to have a voice, and I think that that is something which is so important and overlooked in today's society. I feel like people think that they don't have a voice. Everyone thinks that one person can't make a difference, and I know I have said this in many videos before because I believe it so much. One person can make a massive difference, and that one person, that one voice can be amplified so much through social media and through platforms, which is such an incredible concept which can lead to the most incredible changes in life. So remember, you can use your voice. So during this time when this movement is going on, I just want to use this as an opportunity to say to all of you guys, use your voice. Don't go silent. Continue to use your voice for this form of injustice, for the next, for every. Think about how many different forms of injustice are going on right now. There's the case in Yemen. Use it to speak up, raise awareness, because what's going on in the world, there are so many things which are not okay, and we can use this. We can use it for such unbelievably incredible benefits and effects. We can make such an impact if we work together and if we use social media for the best and do not go silent. So I'm gonna end the video here. I really hope that you enjoyed this one and it kind of made you think a little bit. I feel like we so easily get just kind of caught up in life and we just live day to day and we kind of don't stop to appreciate something which we have available to us, which is so amazing and gives us such great capabilities that we don't utilize it as much as we can. So I hope this kind of planted a seed or two in your mind to kind of use a platform for what you want to use it for, to try and make a greater impact. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I love you all so much. Stay positive, keep smiling, spread that positivity, and I will see you all next time. Mwah. Bye guys.